They thought you would stay down. They thought breaking you once would break you forever. But what they didn't understand is that pain doesn't destroy a real one, it forges them. Every time they counted you out, you were learning the rhythm of the comeback. Every time they tried to bury you, you were becoming the seed. And now, it's over for them. Because crossing you was the beginning of their own downfall. You see, some people mistake silence for weakness, but silence is the sound of focus. It's the sound of someone rebuilding, reloading, and realigning their purpose. You don't need to shout when you know who you are. You don't need to prove yourself when your results speak louder than their gossip. God doesn't expose your enemies, He promotes you in front of them. That's how they learn. You don't get even, you elevate. You don't throw dirt, you grow through it. Every betrayal, every lie, every door slammed in your face was a setup for a divine comeback. The storm wasn't sent to drown you. It was sent to cleanse your circle and reveal who truly belonged. When you stop chasing people and start chasing purpose, you become unstoppable. Disappointment teaches you discipline. Rejection redirects you to your real path. The people who walked away were never meant to finish the race with you. Don't curse the pain, it was your teacher. Don't despise the loss, it was your preparation. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't quit, that you kept going when most people would have stayed broken. That's power, that's grace under fire. And when you rise from that kind of place, there's no going back. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them laugh. Because every word they speak will echo back as applause when your moment arrives. Crossing you wasn't their mistake, it was their lesson. When a chosen soul gets focused, when a wounded lion remembers who it is, the whole jungle feels it. You're not coming for revenge. You're coming for everything they said you'd never have. You've been quiet too long, humble too long, underestimated too long. But now the world's about to remember your name. Your faith carried you. Your patience protected you. And your grind crowned you. Now stand tall, not to prove anything, but to show that no betrayal, no failure, no delay can stop a destiny that's already written. You were never fighting for victory, you were fighting from it. So walk forward with fire in your spirit and peace in your heart. It's over for them, because the same storm they sent to destroy you built you into something they can't touch. They thought they broke you, but the truth is, they only broke the noise around you. You stopped explaining yourself, you stopped proving yourself, and you stopped asking why. You just went quiet, because sometimes silence is the only language left when your heart's been betrayed too many times. You weren't angry anymore, not really. You were just tired. Tired of giving your best and being treated like it was never enough. Tired of being loyal to people who would trade your presence for attention. Tired of showing love in a world that only values convenience. And in that tiredness, something changed inside you. You learned that peace isn't found in getting even. It's found in walking away. The same people who laughed at your struggle will pretend they always believed in you when your strength starts to show. But you remember every night you cried quietly, when no one called, no one checked, and no one cared. That's when you learn that sometimes God closes every door, not to punish you, but to make you realize He was the only one still in the room. They say you find out who your friends are when you're down, but the truth is you find out who you are when you're down. When there's no applause, no hand on your shoulder, and no one saying you got this. It's in those moments that your heart starts talking differently. You stop chasing validation. You start listening to your own soul. And though it hurts, though it cuts deep, you begin to see that the ones who walked away did you a favor. Because if they could leave, they were never meant to stay. That silence became your sanctuary. It was painful, yes, but it was pure. No fake smiles, no forced conversations, no pretending you're okay when you're not. Just you, your thoughts, and your faith. That's where the rebuilding started. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with acceptance. You realize that sometimes closure doesn't come from words. It comes from growth. It comes from finally saying, I don't need them to understand. I just need to heal. You carried so much and they never saw it. You fought so hard and they never clapped for it. But the truth is they weren't supposed to. Because your healing was never meant to be a public event. It was a private victory. Every tear was a seed, and every scar became a story of survival. You were broken, yes, but not defeated. You lost people, but you found peace. You lost comfort, but you found character. And one day soon, when you rise, they'll realize that crossing you wasn't just their mistake. It was the moment they lost someone who loved them purely. Because pain doesn't destroy the chosen, it refines them. And now your silence isn't weakness anymore, it's power. Quiet power. The kind that no one sees coming until it's already standing tall in the light. When they walked away, you didn't just lose people, you lost light, the kind of light that comes from laughter, connection, and trust. For a while, everything around you felt heavy and colorless. You'd wake up and feel the emptiness before you even opened your eyes. The silence after they left was louder than any argument you'd ever had. But what they didn't understand was that the dark doesn't just hide, it teaches. It teaches you how to see without sight, how to feel without touch, and how to believe without proof. You see, when you're left alone long enough, something happens. You start to realize that survival isn't just about strength, it's about faith. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Because the same darkness that was supposed to break you became your training ground. It stripped you of pride, ego, and noise. It took everything that wasn't real until only your truth remained. That's what pain does. It purifies you. It doesn't just hurt, it heals through hurting. There were nights you wanted to give up. Nights where the weight of loneliness sat on your chest like a mountain. But still, you showed up. You got up. You kept breathing even when it burned to do so. That's power most people will never understand because they only see your glow now. They don't see what it cost. They see the confidence, not the nights you questioned your own worth. They see the peace, not the wars you fought in silence. And the irony, the people who left you in the dark thought they were ending your story. They didn't realize they were helping you write a new one. Because in the dark you discovered something priceless, clarity. You began to see people for who they were, not who you wished they'd be. You started valuing presence over promises. You stopped begging for loyalty and started building it within yourself. You realized that not everyone who stands beside you is standing with you. Some are just there until the light fades, and that's when the truth shows. But now you see differently. You don't chase anymore. You don't explain. You simply move. Quietly, intentionally, because the dark taught you something daylight never could. It taught you resilience. It taught you patience. It taught you to glow without needing to be seen. And when that happens, when a soul learns to find light inside its own wounds, no betrayal can break it again. So yes, they left you in the dark, but they also left you with yourself. And that turned out to be the greatest blessing of all. Because you finally met the version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't back down. The one that walks alone, but never lonely. The one that understands sometimes you have to lose everything to see what was really meant for you. There came a day when something inside you simply clicked. You didn't announce it, you didn't post about it, you just changed. The same people who once made you question your worth stopped having that power. You stopped needing their validation, stopped rewriting your story just to keep them comfortable. Because one morning you woke up and realized you've been giving your energy to people who never deserved your spirit. And that was the day your healing truly began. You used to chase people, trying to make them see your loyalty, your effort, your love. You thought if you just did. more, gave more, proved more, they'd finally understand you. But the truth is, some people can't see your value because they're too blind by their own emptiness. You could hand them gold and they'd still say it's not enough. So you stopped chasing people and started chasing purpose. You turned that energy inward. You began building, learning, creating, becoming, and slowly the same silence that once hurt started to heal. When you chase purpose, everything changes. The nights don't feel so heavy because now they're filled with vision. The pain doesn't feel wasted because now it has meaning. You start realizing that the heartbreak wasn't punishment, it was direction. Every person who walked away cleared the space for what's real. Every loss was an invitation from the universe to grow into something greater. You stopped looking back because the past had nothing new to say. You understood that you can't step into your future if your feet are still planted in your history. That's when confidence stopped being an act and became your nature. You didn't need loud speeches or revenge. You became the proof. You started moving differently, calmer, wiser, quieter. Because when a person finds their purpose, they stop reacting and start responding. They stop needing to be understood and start focusing on understanding themselves. And that kind of peace, that's rare, that's power. Now the same people who doubted you are watching in silence. They can feel the shift. They see that you no longer move from pain, you move from clarity. You no longer seek attention, you command respect. You no longer need closure, you found conviction. And the beautiful thing, you're not even angry anymore, you're grateful. Because what they meant for destruction became the foundation of your destiny. They thought crossing you would end you, but it only introduced you to your higher self. The version of you that doesn't beg to be seen because it knows real light doesn't need an audience. Purpose gave you that glow. It gave you direction. And now you understand what few people ever do. When you stop chasing people and start chasing purpose, you don't lose anyone worth keeping. You find everything worth living for.